This is the octave of prayer for the healing of the wounds in the mystical body. It's, as it happens, also the anniversary from years ago, what had been my first sermon as an ordained deacon. It happened to fall at this time. And I would like to reflect precisely on two elements. One, that which comes from ordination to the diaconate, the Word, and also other sacraments, including holy matrimony, because we're already doing them as deacons, and baptism, funerals. There will be, as it happens, a baptism if they come immediately afterwards. If Ray is well enough, he's one of the godparents, so there should be a very quick ceremony afterwards. Emily's personal friend, he wants this child baptized as soon as possible. I close that parenthesis. But the Word. I would not be here if it were not for the power of the Word, preached not by a deacon, a priest, but given to us as young people, children, in a very different atmosphere, of which I cannot but think in this week. It would be spiritual pride to imagine that God is not at work outside the parameters of the visible church. He is, and there will be many surprises on the last day. What the Spirit really wants is collaboration. He can't do much without collaboration. Which brings me to my first point. The big difference between our practice and faith is that we have one element which our separated brethren haven't got. I'm talking here about specifically those who were born of us during the Reformation, not the Eastern Bloc. They have it too. Ex opere operator, from the work operated. Whatever, this is an important point, whatever the worthiness of the minister ordained, the Holy Spirit is working. He is faithful to his promise. We have an objective presence which has nothing to do with the faith or even actually the misty manners of the celebrant. It's God. That is consoling. I opened, by the way, a little parenthesis in that one just to indicate how powerful it is. Just this week, I was talking with a good friend of mine who has gifts and he's big into his faith, and he told us this story, which I found very moving. He happened to be in Lourdes. He found his way into a coffee bar and landed by a person who was obviously Irish. He wanted to know his story. Where did he come from? He came from such and such a county. What was he up to? Well, he went on. And then it came to this point. The man in question, over his coffee, came out with this. Do you believe that God is present at the consecration? So he gave his answer with great conviction. And the other man just looked at him. Well, as it happens, I'm one of three brothers. Two others are priests. One of them, who's been a long time in the missions, but is back now, doesn't believe that anything happens at the consecration. The other one does. But the other day, this happened. Because he was back from the missions, at least for a while, he was to stay with his brother that weekend, and his brother, priest, invited him to celebrate one of the masses over the weekend. Now, the person talking at the coffee wanted something to happen. And the person himself was obviously not of bad faith, but he lost it. And the prayer was that some sign should be given should the Lord be present. He went to the altar and celebrated. This is recent history now. He got to the consecration of the host, okay, and then he got to the consecration of the chalice. Okay, the thing was seen. He went to give Holy Communion to the people. He gave, as usual, and it just turned out, by chance, that there was one host left in the ciborium. At the altar, he happened to look into it. It was changing before his eyes. Blood was appearing on it. At the end of the celebration, he went to his good brother the priest, who had prayed intensely for a sign for his non-believing brother priest. The next stage was, the Lord did not leave anything spectacular for other people to see, but it concluded discreetly the mystery of this miracle by a little camouflage act. A cross appeared over it, and it could be consumed. The priest himself had lost the faith. But he was a priest of God, and will be for all eternity, even should he, God forbid, go into mortal sin and lose his son, which increases their damnation if that happens. That is important. My best friend in school and college days was the son of the Vicar of Cardiff, an Anglican therefore, high church. We were great friends, but we used to have long arguments, theological. And I would be tempted to take the mickey out of him, and he out of me. Yes, Paul, when you get to the ordination, remember what you say at the altar rails? A bit of crust, a bit of crust, a bit of... I didn't like it one little bit. But one day, we were before the tabernacle in the Catholic Church opposite our school. Something moved him. He came out and said to me how close he was to coming over. But it's a huge pull when you've got father, grandfather, and way back Anglican clergymen. When you're going to Oxford, when you're in a whole system, and when also accidentally you can marry. He didn't come over, quite. And one day he said to me, when we were discussing orders, oh, well, I'll make sure that one of those in the one ordaining me will get the orders from the old Catholics, the Utrecht lot who came over to kind of Protestant thing. They refused the papal infallibility thing in the 1870s. They had the orders with them. And the Anglicans had this practice for a while of getting one of the three consecrating bishops to be from that line, to get valid orders back. That was actually an admission that they themselves had doubts. However, massively, the Anglican Church, as Leo XIII proclaimed in 1896, have orders that are omnino iritum, utterly null and completely void. And no matter how many chasubles and mitres they possess, and I saw my friend celebrating a very high church after his ordination, it changes not one iota. The Lord is there or not there. So what do they have? The other bit that we have also, and we must have, ex opere operantis, from the work of the one operating. It's what we have, for instance, in sacramentals. The Church adds a proportion equal to what we give. So that's the meaning of a partial indulgence. The Church adds an equal measure again to what we put in our merit. That's a partial indulgence. So it makes a difference whether we receive holy water, say the rosary, anything which is sacramental, well or not, don't go into automatic pilot. Which brings me to my last point. They are horrified that we don't know how to pray. How can we be edifying with a rosary which goes at this speed? To the end, and we've done our duty. We've got God out of the way, and we have, yes, prayed. My foot. The angels know how much prayer is going on. St. Bernard was shown it one day in choir. He could see angels going up and down over the brethren, carrying what they were carrying. Some were carrying huge loads of prayer, others less. Others were very sad. They had nothing whatsoever to carry. So let's be clear about this. We have the truth. We have all the graces, but we're not switched on or plugged in. A lot of them are just passing over our head. That's why the Holy Spirit is able sometimes to work more freely in Protestants who only have a bit of the faith, but use it well. I leave you with that, my friends, because on the last day we're going to be examining on what we have, and we have it all.